favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
But hold on, it's almost halftime.
Stovall leads off the fifth inning against Max Carlson. Third base plays up, righty-lefty match, and Stovall swings and drives the first pitch to deep right center. There it goes. Peyton Stovall out of here. And the Hogs grab the lead on the first pitch of the fifth inning. 1-2 pitch. Wilkerson a swing and a pop fly to short right center. Lenzilli will get there first. Webb calls him off. Webb makes the catch. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks by a 4-1 final score. McIntyre ready again, the 1-2. Sorretti grounds a sharp one. Stovall diving play, throws to second for a force. Relay to first, Stovall covers. They got him. Rack him up. And the Razorback infield defense continues to sparkle like a diamond in the postseason. He's on the move and battles, swings a ground ball off the third baseman, down the third base line. Langilli's off to the races. He's halfway to third. Nate Thompson gives him the green light. He will score. And Jalen Battles makes it a 1-0 lead with a 2-out double in the fourth inning. Castagnazzi plays up at third a step. Here's the pitch. And Webb swings. There's a ball hit well to deep right center. Honeycutt's on the run at the wall. Get out of here. Home run to right center for Braden Webb. His first of the postseason. And the Hogs lead 2-0. Pitch. Swing, ground ball, left side. Backhand stop by Sorretti. Gets a force at second. Not at first. The tying run scores. It's 3-3 in the ninth inning. Webb stayed out of the double play. And the pitch to Slavens. Swing, ground ball, base hit, right center field. Brady Slavens sparks this team to Omaha. And the road show continues for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A 4-3 win. Come from behind style in the ninth inning. The Razorbacks dogpiling on the field here in Chapel Hill with their 11th trip to the College World Series, and you can call them the Omahas.
Somewhere in middle America, give you right to the heart of matters.
That is right. Arkansas is headed to Omaha. And I know I'm not the voice you initially all tuned in to hear right now. You kind of expected me more in the background today to say, hey, Phil, you've earned it. Arkansas has earned it. Take it away, buddy. But unfortunately, they are in the air right now. So Phil Elson is traveling with the team. He is currently in the air. Hopefully will be joining us about 12:30 as soon as they land and he gets through baggage and all that other good fun stuff that goes along with being at the airport. So I know some of you might be a little disappointed, but we're going to talk plenty of Arkansas baseball. Don't you worry one bit. And this also gives you guys plenty of opportunity and plenty of time to jump in and give us your thoughts about these Omaha Hogs and their trip to the College World Series at Charles Schwab Field, not Park. It was called Charles Schwab Park this morning. It has now officially been called, because it went from TD Ameritrade Park. It is now officially Charles Schwab Field. So they're playing at Charles Schwab Field, Omaha, in Omaha, beginning on Saturday, waiting on their first opponent, which will either be Stanford or UConn, as that game 3 of their Super Regional gets going today at 3 o'clock on ESPN. But Drew Barrett, Matty T, here with you for the next 2 hours. We do have a great show lined up for you. Like we said, going to talk all things Arkansas baseball. Going to talk about the Supers that we just had. Going to preview a little bit of the College World Series. And, of course, hopefully Phil's able to join us at the end to give his firsthand accounts of calling the games this weekend in Chapel Hill and just really what it means to, be the man behind the mic. I mean, that's why a lot of us get into this, is for legendary calls like you just heard from Phil right there. I mean, that's one of those things that I eventually do want in my career, is for somebody to play my call of something as you go into a segment or something like that. So I know it was a great moment for Phil and for Bubba to be on the call yesterday. Like I said, we'll do have a good show lined up for you. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South will join us as always at 11:30. We're gonna talk college baseball and college football news with him, and hopefully Phil in hour number 2. But like I said, plenty of time for you to get in here with your opinion, your texts, your calls. 877-377-6963 is the number to get in here on halftime. So Arkansas is going to Omaha. That is the news of the day, news of the week. And if you'd have told me 2 weeks ago, I might have called you a liar. I might have, because it wasn't looking pretty. I had lost hope. I think a lot of you out there had lost hope. I know some of you on our text line have even admitted to doing so, and I appreciate you being honest, because things were all gone. Things seemed to be a little lost. I mean, we go back 1 month from today. Today is June 13th. You go back to May 13th. Arkansas, that's a Friday. Arkansas loses 9-6 in 10 innings to Vanderbilt. They would go on to lose 5 of their next 7 baseball games. Since they lost to Florida to be eliminated and go 0-2 in Hoover, Alabama, Arkansas has won 5 of their last 6 ball games. That is an incredible turnaround, a turnaround I don't believe that most people saw coming. I know I certainly didn't, but I think it's a turnaround that we're all excited to see. And ultimately, for us in this job, it's great. Just keep us, have things to talk about, have an excitement buzzing around the station in the dog days of summer, when normally that is definitely not the case. 877-377-6963 is the phone number. JW.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Hey, I'm not going to take a long time, because I know you got a lot of anxious and excited Hog fans wanting to come in. But I had a favorite quote over the weekend that came from Mr. DVH, and it still kind of is jumping around in my head. And it just kind of, there's an attitude there that's the right kind of attitude. And what it was, I don't know who it was. Someone was interviewing him as he was leaving the field, and he said, well, who are you going to start tomorrow? And he said, just nonchalantly, well, a right or left-hander. And I love that. That's as good as it gets.
It was great.
Cowboy. Anyway, thank y'all.
Hey, appreciate the phone call, JW. You can do the exact same, 877-377-6963. And it was a great quote. It was a little bit of joking, but also some seriousness in it. They didn't know exactly who was going to get the ball to start yesterday in Chapel Hill. It ultimately ended up being Will McIntyre, who had one of his best performances of the season and went 5 2/3, only gave up 3 hits, 0 runs, 4 strikeouts compared to 2 walks on 73 pitching. And that's one thing that was absolutely phenomenal from this weekend, was pitching. Now, Maddie, one thing that was bad from this weekend, and I know that you probably had to deal with it a lot yesterday.
Oh, man, that weather.
Oh,
jeez. I mean, just a downpour.
I mean, not a drop in the sky.
I saw the pictures from Ty. It just, it couldn't have been a more beautiful sky.
It really couldn't have. But unfortunately, with college baseball,
if,
8 miles.
Is it 8 miles? I was thinking, is it 30 miles away if there's lightning?
Well, that's the thing. We saw multiple different delays in the state of North Carolina yesterday, obviously with East Carolina hosting Texas, as they were dealing with the same thing over in Greenwood. It was weird, though. And, I mean, you had a lot of people on Twitter going, I didn't see any who were at Chapel Hill.
So they have to clear out the entire stadium?
The whole stadium. Because
where's everybody go? Just go to your car?
To the cars, to the parking
lot.
lot.
That's a lot safer. Get in your metal car and sit there.
Well, I think it's a liability thing. You're
not going to die on our grounds.
No, you can die in the parking lot, just not here. Because then if you get struck by lightning here, then there could be a legal case and all that other stuff.
I did appreciate that they kept it on like they went to the podcast thing, because I had just sat down to watch Jurassic World Dominion, and I got a message from Tommy. He's like, just to let you know, they're in a weather thing, but they're going to the. So I was like,
okay,
at least they didn't switch
it over
local again. Then I'd have to jump up and
see. And I thought you were. I was about to text you yesterday and go, I'm so sorry for what you're gonna have to do.
It all worked out. 2
delays. I think total time of the game
and like
the
7
delays,
hours.
6.5. I want to say 6.5. I know the pregame started. Me and Ty came on at 11 o'clock. Me and Ty signed off for the postgame at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Now, that's a pretty big wide gap for just one baseball game. But we got plenty of stuff to get to today, as it is an Omaha Monday, as your Omaha Hogs are headed to the College World Series, and we've got plenty of time for your thoughts on the text line and on the phone, 877-377-6963.
They turned around.
They did.
It's like a total eclipse of the heart.
It really was. Turned it completely around. A complete 180 by Arkansas. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Arkansas baseball talks and your calls and your texts on the other side, right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now tonight, and I need you more than ever.
The Diamond Hogs Podcast with Mason Choate and Robert Stewart.
It feels like Jekyll and Hyde.
And it doesn't help that right now your starting pitching is also up and down. That was the thing you could hang your hat on early in the season, was they might not be able to score a whole lot of runs, but the other team's not going to score a whole lot of runs either, because their starting pitching is really good.
The Diamond Hogs Podcast is the premier Razorback baseball podcast. Find it on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
You know the Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment in Fort Smith is your go-to shop for everything pressure washers. But did you know that they also handle your industrial pump and supply needs too? It doesn't stop there. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment's industrial vacuum trucks can handle dry, liquid, and even sludge removal from several hundred feet away. Leave the cleanup to the professionals. Contact Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment at 782-3762. That's 782-3762. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment, 3116 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Everyone loves great Tex-Mex. The best Tex-Mex around is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tex-Mex brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, pork belly tacos, and the best fajitas in town. And when the Hogs are on TV, it's always half price apps and taps. Your favorite drinks and the best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Welcome back to halftime. Phil is traveling with the team. He'll hopefully be able to join us here in hour number 2. So that does mean plenty of time for your calls, your texts at 877-377-6963. We'll have Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South, as always, joining us at the bottom of the hour. But do want to let you know that this portion of the show is brought to you by Pradco and by the Booyah Bait Mobster. The Booyah Bait Company is made right here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swimming jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob located. I'm going to start over. The Booyah Bait Company is made in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the hottest swimming jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob locally in Arkansas and Oklahoma and is winning tournaments around the natural state like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged or matted grass, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at LearnNet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas, Oklahoma. The Booyah Mobster. Thank you. It was a long weekend for me too, man. I mean, I had going from Jimmy Buffett on Thursday night, then I had Friday off. Just got to spend plenty of time with the fiance, which was always great. But just like you guys, I'm a little worn out. It is Monday, so excuse the little misspoke speaking there with that live read. Hopefully, Bruce isn't too mad about that one. I'll get better. I promise. I'll get better. But 877-377-6963 is the phone line, and you can do what Frank has just done. He's called us. Frank, what is your thoughts? I'm guessing you want to talk about Arkansas baseball. How excited are you for this team to be headed to Omaha? Attention,
cool.
Frank. There he is.
It's kind of cool to see them come back after everybody already counted them out, and they're coming back and going to Omaha. But the thing that impressed me, they play well, they play good, they've been taught how to behave, or they know how to behave. And I've seen a statement from the other coach, the East Carolina coach that Arkansas played, and that they played very well, they were coached well, and they were really good. They liked the way they didn't talk, they didn't trash talk, they just played ball. And I think that shows a lot of class on the program, and it shows a lot of class to our athletes on how they play. Trash talk is kind of, I just don't like that too much.
Well, let me ask you this, Frank. You bring it up, and it's pretty much been all directed at Tennessee. More excited about Arkansas going to Omaha or Tennessee not being there? Because I feel like for some people it might be 50-50 because of how hated Tennessee has become. Do you still, your love for Arkansas still outweighs your hate for Tennessee and what Tony Vitello and that program has become?
I really don't keep up with Tennessee much, so I don't really have much to say about that. I just, you get what you give. So, Arkansas, they did it the right way. They earned their spot. Tennessee, they didn't do the right things, and number one, they didn't play well enough to make it. So they earned their spot. That's how I see it.
Well, I appreciate the call, Frank, and you guys can do exactly what he just did, 877-377-6963. And while we're on the subject, I do want to ask you guys on the text line and the phone what your thoughts are about Tennessee, because it's been the big budding joke of the last 24 hours of Tennessee not making it to Omaha, of the cockiness, of the just nastiness that we've kind of just seen out of that team. I mean, I'm all for having fun. I'm all for, enjoying yourself. It's a game. Like Phil ends every broadcast for Arkansas baseball. Remember, it's just a game. It is a game. It's meant to be played with fun. It's meant to be played with passion. But as most of y'all will agree, there is always a line. There's always a line that you shouldn't cross in sports and just in society in general. I mean, there's things you can do in good fun and in good humor, and then there's definitely things you shouldn't do. And in baseball, when you round the bases flipping off the opposing team, when you argue a ball or strike on a 1-0 count that really doesn't mean anything. I mean, I get it. I get the frustration if it's a called third strike. I get that. But a 1-0 count, and then to have your pitching coach thrown out of the game, your players thrown out of the game, fans to throw trash on the field, the second time in one calendar year, twice in one calendar year that we've seen this type of activity and type of just bad fans out of Knoxville, Tennessee. I mean, it's just atrocious to watch what's going on and how they don't. I get the mentality. I do. I get it's us versus the world. I get that. That's fun when you're a part of it. But you can always take it too far. And that's what Tennessee, as a program, as an institution, I mean, because this is spilling over into other sports. I mean, you had it last year at the Tennessee Ole Miss game where they're throwing golf balls and mustard bottles at Lane Kiffin. And now you have beer cans and other things thrown onto the field at umpires. Something's got to be done. You can't have multiple incidents like that. At that point, you can't blame it on bad apples, right? If it happens once, hey, bad apples in every fan base, right? They don't represent our entire fan base. It happens twice? Heck, if it happens a third time, I don't think that's a bad apple. I think that's just who you are. And if you're Tennessee, and if you're the SEC, if you're Greg Sankey, you need to put a stop to it. It just can't happen. You can have passion. You can have fun. I'm all for it. But you can't dog cuss umpires on a 1-0 count. I mean, that's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just read the room, man. Like, the situation does not call for that much aggressiveness. Like, that's like going to a restaurant and you ordering a Coke and they go, is Pepsi okay? And you flip a table. Like, that's how absurd that reaction is on a 1-0 count. It wasn't in the ninth inning. It didn't cost them the game. It was a second pitch of the at-bat. I mean, how can you be that blind to the situation and everything going on around you to have an absolute meltdown and freak out that way? I don't I just don't understand. I don't get it, and something needs to be done over there in Knoxville. And you know what? Like Frank said, you reap what you sow. They gave a lot of crap, and now they're getting a lot of crap right on back. 877-377-6963. Chad in Greenbrier, he's on the phone. I'm guessing, Chad, you want to talk about the Omaha Hogs?
Yeah, brother. I kind of going with what you were just talking about. I mean, I coached high school baseball. I've coached college baseball. You think the head coach at Tennessee, now give him his props for what he's done with that program. But, when he first started, there was a lot of talk with people I know of him being the replacement at Arkansas whenever Van Horn was done with having that tie. But do you think with how the program has shown themselves, he's not only hurt his position with that, but ever even being able to leave Tennessee? Because you look at what head coaches have put out on the Razorbacks and how they play the game, I don't think what you're seeing with Tennessee has helped his chances of ever leaving that program. Because who wants that? Who wants to deal with that? Just wanted your opinion on that.
No, I completely agree. And when you have a situation like this, it shows a lack of control over your program. I mean, what other program out there would you see an assistant coach get thrown out and leave the dugout for? He's not doing that. He knows not to do that. He knows that's not his place. What other program are you seeing players so bold and so arrogant and so cocky that they're willing to die on a 1-0 count pitch? I mean, it makes no sense, and it has done nothing but hurt Tony Vitello, I think, in the eyes of college baseball. But at the same time, has it done a lot to help college baseball? We're going to talk about that a little bit more later in the show, especially with Connor O'Gara. But I want you to mold over that thought. As much as we hate Tennessee and how much you hate their arrogance, has it actually helped the popularity of baseball? And before we get to Connor O'Gara, I do want to get to Eddie in Clarksville, the most passionate man that has ever gone on these airways. Eddie, how's it going?
How you feeling right now, gentlemen? I'd like to explain over the radio airwaves what I'm feeling at this very moment. It's a feeling of joy and happiness I call Hog Jubilee, Hog Jubilation. It's at that state. Let me tell you something. All I'm going to say about the Vols, listen here. In life, sometimes you get a lesson in humility. And certainly the Vols got it in our backyard. Go Irish. That's all I got to say about it. You know where Tennessee lost the game? Listen to these stats. 0 for 10 and the last 10 batters in that last game. That's where you lost it at. 0 for 10. And that's all I heard about the Vols all season. I'm like you. I'm all for passion. Hey, but cussing out refs, throwing a fit, I'm not for that. Hey, I'm about blowing a whistle. And by the way, before this series started, listen here. I put on a little Chuck Berry. Oh, what a thrill at Chapel Hill. Let me tell you something. When you talk about tenacity, the last two series against Oklahoma State and Stillwater, and then you go to Chapel Hill against the Tar Heels, very fine ball clubs, well coached, fine teams. I mean, hitters from top to the bottom. And what do? We show a clear, gritty tenacity. We just out tenacity the team, the will to win. And now we go to Omaha with the whistle blowing, and Steve and Coach Van Horn pulling on the whistle. And we're coming this year to beat you. And I don't see a team on the card that we can't compete and beat with. So let the whistle blow. All aboard and let that whistle blow.
Hey, love to hear it, Eddie. Love to hear it. Appreciate the phone call. As always, 877-377-6963. Plenty to celebrate here in the natural state and across the globe on hitthatline.com. When we come back, we'll be joined by Saturday Down South's own Connor O'Gara. We're going to talk about that question I just put out there for you. As much as we don't like what Tennessee has done, have they actually been a good thing for college baseball? We'll talk about that with Connor O'Gara and more on the other side, right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Celebrate good times, come on.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland.
Or Miller Lite Draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Swing, ground ball, base hit, right center field. Brady Slavens sparks this team to Omaha, and the road show continues for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A 4-3 win, come from behind style in the ninth inning. The Razorbacks dogpiling on the field here in Chapel Hill with their 11th trip to the College World Series, and you can call them the Omahas.
Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And welcome back to halftime as we are about to be joined by Saturday South's own Connor O'Gara. You can follow on Twitter at CJ. I just had it there. CJ O'Gara on Twitter to get all of his latest stuff and news. And, of course, at Saturday Down South. Connor, appreciate you joining us as always at this time slot here on Monday. And I've been following along with Saturday Down South and seeing what y'all been putting out here of late. And it's a lot of college baseball, which is great for the sport, great for the SEC, and great for the growth of college baseball. And I've seen this question thrown out multiple times around the Twitterverse. about Tennessee, because I think most 99% of people outside of the Volunteer State are pretty happy to jump on them right now, to really rag them for their arrogance, the attitudes. I mean, last segment I talked about the arguing of a pitch on a 1-0 count is the equivalent of going to a restaurant, ordering a Coke, they say, is Pepsi okay, and you flipping the table. Like, it is over the top. But do you think it's been good for college baseball? Because, as we all know, the best stories have really good villains.
I think it has been good. And that's not to say that I support everything that Tennessee baseball does or is about. But from an interest standpoint, absolutely. I mean, Tennessee was trending nationally within minutes of that game ending yesterday. And let's just say they were not words of congratulations. Like, there were more people than I can remember excited to see a team lose than any in terms of the big revenue sports. I just can't remember anything quite like that in recent memory. I mean, I guess Duke this past year in the NCAA tournament with Coach K and the retirement tour, but like, you know, Duke has its supporters as well. Duke has a national fan base. It doesn't feel like Tennessee has a national fan base. It just feels like it has a national group of haters, and understandably so. Like, that's what they pretty much brought upon themselves. If you're going to be the team that has the daddy hat, the cheetah coat, you're going to yell at opposing dugouts. You're going to have, you're going to flip the bird around in first base. You're going to pimp home runs. Like, this is just, I mean, this is what you would expect of a team that gets upset in a spot like that in terms of a reaction. I think that it would have been fascinating to see them in Omaha, but I'm sure that, like, secretly, as much as there are a lot of opposing fan bases, maybe Arkansas included, who are happy to see them go because of their ways, they're also happy to see them go because they were clearly the best team in the country up until this weekend. And when you only lose 7 games up until a super regional, there's a sigh of relief. There has to be for everybody that's already punched their ticket to Omaha.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. While it's a lot of pointing and laughing, it's also back in your mind, oh, thank goodness somebody got him, because I don't know if we could have done it ourselves. But when it comes to Tennessee and kind of just the fan base in general, I mean, in less than a full year, we've had 2 incidents at Tennessee athletic events of trash being thrown at the field. Is this something that the higher-ups at the University of Tennessee and possibly even Greg Sankey needs to get involved with? Because we see it happen every now and then at certain institutions, and you can always blame it. You can say, oh, there's few bad apples in everybody. Like, they don't represent the entire fan base. But now that we're getting into the territory of multiple different events of trash throwing onto the field, is this something that needs to be looked at more and could possibly punish Tennessee in some way? Because you can't just throw things. Like, these are lessons that we think that everybody knows, but apparently we have to continue to teach people.
Yeah, look, not giving them a pass, I don't think they're alone in the throwing stuff onto the playing field argument, right? Like, I mean, I remember being at the national championship this past year, and Georgia had I can't remember which call it was. I think it was whether or not it was Stetson Bennett, like, interception, fumble, or something like that. And when it was ruled in Alabama's favor in Georgia, there's a few Georgia fans who were throwing beers down. That's a national championship at a neutral site game. And I remember all the Tennessee fans coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, I thought Tennessee fans were the only ones." Like, I don't want to just single out Tennessee fans. Yeah, I mean, it's not a great look. Like, let's call it what it is. I think we're talking about pretty special circumstances here. The Kiffin reunion, of course, with the most infamous mustard bottle ever, infamous golf ball. The objects on that field were just
it's weird.
A collection, all-time collection of just stuff gathered on a field. But, I mean, think about the circumstances surrounding that. Think about the circumstances surrounding this. I don't think you necessarily bank on something like that happening moving forward. Greg Sankey had the reprimand after. I can't remember the amount that got fined after the Ole Miss game with Lane Kiffin, but I'm sure there will be something said behind closed doors. But, like, what's that really going to do in the heat of the moment, season on the line? We saw it. Tennessee was a good example. Like, tempers flare. That's just the way it is. The Drew Gilbert situation, the way that played out. I think that in a perfect world, you could have your commissioner step in and nip this in the bud. But, Is it going to do anything? Are fans going to have that in the back of their mind when things don't go their way in the heat of the moment? No. So I don't really think anything's going to be done.
Unfortunately, you're right. I think in the heat of the moment, people won't be able to restrain themselves while they definitely should. Just good functioning members of society, you should know not to throw things at people. It's stuff that this is stuff that my fiance teaches to her kindergarten class. And it's just absurd that we continue to see this behavior spill into sports and just into society in general. I don't mean to go on a soapbox, but we just got to remember that just because we're passionate and, really involved into something doesn't just give people the opportunity and the right to just do whatever they want. So I'll leave it at that. And I do want to ask about the other teams in the SEC. So now that Tennessee is out, who is your favorite going into Omaha from the SEC faction? I would think it's probably A&M or Arkansas.
Yeah, and look, I'm not as admittedly, I'm not as dialed into college baseball as many are. Joe Cox did such a great job covering the sport for us on Saturday.com. But I think the A&M story is really interesting. Not to I realize the airways that I'm on right now, and nobody would be surprised to see Arkansas as the last team standing in Omaha. But at the same time, I think what's happened in College Station is fascinating. The hire that Ross Bjork made last year to go over to TCU, get one of the most respected coaches in the game, Jim Schlossnagle, and turn that team, which was in last place in the SEC West, into, a division champ and now an Omaha-bound squad. That's the type of thing where I think we all assume that athletic directors are going to have the team's best interest at heart. They're going to make the tough decisions. But A&M was a perfectly fine, respected program. They had 13 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament, and it finally comes to an end. And then they make a decision to move on and to bring in a big time hire. I think you look at what A&M has done this past year in this quick turnaround, and the fact that they're a program that is really feeling confident going into the College World Series, having just swept their super regional and kind of been this hey, nobody really saw this coming, but to do this in year one with a new coach is just amazing. It just kind of goes to show you that's why you make the big time moves like that. And, Schlossnagle has 11 College World Series victories, which at least last year at the time he was hired was tied for the most among active coaches. So you got to feel good about your chances just to get in the field. But, Tennessee's a good example of anything can happen. There's a reason we haven't seen a top overall seed win it all since Miami in 1999. It just comes down to a few bounces of the ball, and Tennessee left 2 fastballs up high late innings, and that was pretty much all she wrote for that team yesterday. Otherwise, we're having a very different conversation right now. So yeah, I would probably say A&M is the one that really intrigues me, but obviously Arkansas getting there and having this momentum, doing it anywhere, anytime, that's certainly going to bode well in Omaha.
We're talking with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Connor, I do want to ask you a few football questions before we let you go. Now that the official agreement has been reached with Cincinnati, Houston, and Central Florida to leave the AAC after the 2022 calendar year and begin to play in the summer of 2023, how is that going to affect the landscape of college football? Does this mean that they move up Texas OU? Does BYU jump aboard, or is this just it was eventually going to happen? Might as well make it now.
Yeah, BYU's already coming on board for 2023, so that doesn't impact that. That's why the move kind of made sense to get all 3 of those teams on board. I think Texas and Oklahoma stay in the Big 12 through the 2024 season, and then they come on board to the SEC in 2025. The point that I've been making is that there's really no sense of urgency from Greg Sankey's standpoint now that the playoff looks like it's going to stay at 4 through the 2025 season, and who knows beyond that. Remember, that's not imminent. That expansion is happening. And so I think if you look at it from that standpoint, you're like, well, if we're going to have a 4-team playoff, what sense of urgency does the SEC have to have a 16-team super conference when, really the SEC's been doing just fine with a 14-team conference and being able to get 1 and or 2 teams into the field on a yearly basis. You don't want to cannibalize yourself necessarily by adding Texas and Oklahoma and paying what would be, probably 5 times as much what those AAC schools paid to get into the Big 12 early, where it was $18 million, and we're talking about a 9-figure deal that it would take for Texas and Oklahoma to come on board. So those new media contracts are going to be through the roof with them coming to the SEC. So I wouldn't necessarily think that's the point of concern. The deal's already done, so it's happening. It's not like they need to make this happen this year or else the deal can fall through or something like that. So I think that they're going to stay kind of where they're at. And, I don't really know that it changes the dynamics of college football that much. It allows the Big 12 to be able to survive and allows them to actually have a little bit of a presence because of the momentum that Cincinnati has, the momentum that UCF has. And then obviously Houston, if it's going to contend like this with Dana Holgorsen, I think that kind of changes things for what we see them in the state of Texas. So, I don't know that it changes the overall dynamics otherwise, besides just keeping the Power Five sort of intact for the time being.
Mm-hmm. Last thing here for you, Connor. Saw Brett McMurphy earlier or I guess technically last week, tweet out about that. Apparently Arkansas is the last Outback Bowl champion. No more Outback Bowl. What's going on there?
Yeah, they changed the name, and I'm blanking on the name right now, but yeah, the fact that there's no more Outback Bowl and we can't get Cole Kublik, my guy, just housing a blooming onion on the sideline. That what a tragedy for sports in general, for society. I think we
it truly
need that.
Is.
What a shame that is. But yeah, the image that I'll always have of the Outback Bowl is either Sam Pittman, getting carried by his players, maybe John Daly practicing some kicks on the sideline. Like that's what we need. Cole obviously, housing the blooming onion. That's what I will choose to remember about the Outback Bowl. I'm going to continue to call it that, and they can't tell me otherwise. To me, it's one of the great sponsorships ever. Coconut shrimp versus bloomin' onion. This is the type of way to bring the average consumer into a bowl game who keeps saying, oh, bowl games don't matter, bowl games don't matter. That game mattered, and it mattered when you went to your Outback Steakhouse, your local fine establishment, and said, hey, I'm owed a free coconut shrimp or a free bloomin' onion. The fact that we're not going to have that anymore, it's a loss. It's a tough time in our country's history, but I think we're going to find a way to pull through.
I hope we do, Connor, because just like you, I'm quite sad, and I'll always remember the good times that were had in Tampa with the Outback Bowl. Connor, appreciate you joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
That is Connor O'Gara. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. When we come back, more of your text and calls, 877-377-6963 to close out our number one here of this Omaha Monday edition of Halftime Hope. Still haven't heard from the 1/3 of this program normally. Still haven't heard from Mr. Elson. Hopefully they are getting ready to land and he'll be able to join us and give us some of his thoughts of what we all saw and what all happened in Chapel Hill in hour number 2. But like I said, plenty of time, as technically don't have any more guests, so plenty of time for your phone calls and your texts. 877-377-6963. We'll be right back on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
The Summer Sell-Down Sales Event is going on right now at Breen RV in Van Buren. New 2023 models are starting to arrive from Forest River, Keystone, Coachman, and StarCraft, all backed by Breen RV's Free Maintenance for Life program. Cure your summertime blues in a 29-foot StarCraft that sleeps up to 10 people for just $229 a month with zero down. With savings up to $20,000 off MSRP on new travel trailers, now is the best time to get your new RV from Breen RV. That's Breen RV in Van Buren, where adventures begin.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I went down to the Grundy County auction where I saw something I just had to have. My mind told me I should proceed with caution, but my heart said go ahead and make a bid on that. And I said, hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? I'd give anything to make you mine on mine. I'll do your bidding and be at your beck and call. Yeah, I've never seen anyone looking so fine. Man, I gotta have her, she's a one of a kind. I'm going once, going twice. I'm sold on the lady in the second row. She's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10, I know. She's got ruby red lips, blonde hair, blue eyes, and I'm about to bid my heart goodbye.
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Closing out hour number 1 here on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com, 877-377-6963 with your calls and your texts. Brent in Stuttgart, he's on the line. Brent, I'm guessing the Omaha Hogs is what's on your mind and what you want to talk about.
You got that right. Let's hear it for those Omaha Hogs. I mean, the last 2 weekends have just been spectacular. That's all I can say. And I feel, without beyond a shadow of a doubt, we're the favorite going into Omaha. And I truly do expect us to be there for a long, long run. And I would just go Hogs.
Hey, appreciate the call there, Brent. No, do you have some more to add?
Yes, sir. Could I ask you, what do you think our pitching looks like for out in Omaha? I'm sure Connor Nolan will go Saturday.
I think Connor will definitely go Saturday, and especially after giving you two great quality starts against Grand Canyon in the regional, and then obviously against North Carolina and Chapel Hill. So you got that one nailed down. You know what your game one starter is going to be like. And then I think that Dave Van Horn and Coach Hobbs are going to attack it like they have these last 2 weeks. I don't think they're going to sit with a set rotation like they did for 99% of the season, because depending on how Saturday goes, you're now facing elimination. You're crawling out. You're crawling from behind there a little bit. So I think it just depends on how game one goes. And then, win or lose, you could easily see Will McIntyre back in there. You could see Zach Morris back there in the start. I would not be shocked if Hagen Smith stays in that relief spot there as he has through the regional and the super regional. So, Brandon, I appreciate your call and appreciate your question. Appreciate you listening. 877-377-6963. Plenty of time for your calls and your texts. We'll get to those texts on the other side in hour number 2. We do want to let you know that hour number 1 is brought to you by The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fences and gates. And they are looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience and can apply not online, can apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and joining the top fence building team in the area. If you can apply in person, apply to the Fence Man at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is equal opportunity employer. When we come back, hour number 2 of this Omaha Monday, Phil Elson has confirmed he will join us at 12:30 to talk everything, but we do have time for your texts and your calls in hour number 2 right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
This message for listeners in the Knoxville, Augsburg, and surrounding areas. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. Fast, reliable fiber internet, along with television and phone service from a local provider with the best customer service available. To pre-register, call 833-492-8372 or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Invest in your family this summer with Burton Pools and Spas during the annual Doughboy Pools Super Sales event. It's going on right now. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton Pools and Spas. It's not too late to enjoy swimming in your backyard with your family this summer, and a Doughboy above-ground pool is the way to go. Listen to these savings. Get up to $2,000 off on Doughboy semi-in-ground pools, up to $1,200 off on Doughboy above-ground pools. And when you buy a Doughboy pool right now, get 4 free passes to Parrot Island Water Park with any pool purchase to enjoy while your pool is being installed. Hurry, supplies are limited on the passes. It's not too late to swim this summer. All of this is going on right now during the annual Doughboy Pools Super Sales event. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter Agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon near 95. Mainly clear, mid-70s tonight. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Our high into the low 90s. And then back in the low 90s Tuesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hour number 2 of this Omaha Monday edition of Halftime. Drew Barrett, Matty T holding it down. Phil Elson will join us at 12:30 as him and Arkansas have landed, and he will give us his thoughts about what happened in Chapel Hill and what's going to happen in Omaha. And
you know, Phil's pretty good, but have you heard Phil Elston?
Elston?
Yeah, Kirby and Branson, he's messaged twice about Phil Elston. He says, Phil Elston is the best play-by-play announcer in the country, paints a better picture than TV. So I know Phil Elston's pretty good, but I gotta check out this Phil
Elston guy.
I'm just joking with you, Kirby.
Yeah, I'm never the one to make fun of anybody for misspelling or misspeaking.
At any point, I'm going to say something really stupid.
It's going to happen. It's called karma. Ask the Tennessee Volunteers. 877-377-6963 for your text and your calls here on this Omaha Monday edition of the program. Arkansas is going to Omaha. It's the College World Series. It starts on Friday. If you're going, when you going, where you staying, what you eating. We need to know these things.
You know, I was looking at the weather. I think
perfect.
It was Saturday, but it's like 102 degrees.
Oh, it's going to be hot.
It's going to be warm.
I was looking at it earlier because I was showing Tommy this morning because he had asked about it. Let's see if it's still pulled up on my phone. It was Omaha, Nebraska. Okay. Today is a high of 103. And luckily... okay.
They don't have I guess they don't have trees in Omaha to provide any shade.
No, not a lot of shade out there in the corn state.
My grandmother's side of the family is from Omaha, so I still have family on that side. But it's been years since I've been there. It's not really. They don't call it a vacation destination.
Yeah, I've never just thought of, telling Caroline, pack your bags, honey.
2 weeks in Omaha. Let's go.
2 weeks in Omaha. Let's do it. Now, it would be great if it was during College World Series time, but I don't think
But you really don't need more than, a few days.
I think everybody would be fine after the 10 days if you are there from the 17th through the 27th, which obviously all of us here at ESPN Arkansas and around the Natural State are hoping.
We sure hope it's that long.
Hoping that's long. And if it is, you bet Matty was exactly right.
You know what I like to say? Anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
And this team proves that.
You're darn right they have, Matty.
Once and twice, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You almost had it.
And that's what I get for teasing Kirby and Branson. I knew I was bound to say something really stupid.
Oh, man. Okay, so Friday, let's say you get there on Friday, 93. It ain't going to get any colder than that.
Leave your coat at home.
Yes. Monday, high of 103 in Omaha, Nebraska.
I wonder what the heat index is going to be.
Would be the day Arkansas plays their second game because they start their action on Saturday as they're still waiting to see who their opponent will be. It'll either be Stanford or UConn as that game gets underway at 3 o'clock today on ESPN2. And the Auburn-Oregon State Super Regional finale will be right after that one on ESPN2. But 877-377-6963 to get to some of your text here from the last couple of hours. Scott in Ozark, he says, losing like that hurts their kids. Don't be too hard on Tennessee. Remember how it felt for us last year. And Scott, well, they are kids, and I get it. I'm not one to throw shade at college athletes because I know not personally what it's like to go through. And unfortunately, I had the offers, had the chance, but came up a little short. Got hurt my senior year, and when you've had ACL surgery and 2 shoulder surgeries as a left-handed pitcher, your second chances are kind of thrown out the window there. But so I don't personally know, but I have multiple friends who played college athletics. I had a buddy of mine who is a great friend. I mean, a guy that is going to be standing next to me on my wedding day. That type of a friend who told me about the struggles, the mental health, the physical aspect of everything that goes into being a college athlete, to where I didn't realize, even though I was pretty close to reaching that goal, but once you get there, it is a completely different world. So I'm never going to dogpile or go hard at a college athlete because it's not right. But at the same time, and I get your point, they are kids, that they are student athletes. But to compare it to Arkansas losing last year, there are some similarities. Both live and die by the long ball. Both were the number 1 ranked team for 99% of the season. Both were the number 1 overall ranked team in the NCAA tournament. Both made it to day 3 of the Super Regionals. But it's different. And it's different because of how Arkansas reacted. You didn't have a nation of sports fans rooting against Arkansas last year. You didn't have that. Why? Because Arkansas doesn't act that way. Arkansas doesn't play baseball that way. Dave Van Horn, he's not allowing his players to do what Tony Vitello did. He's not allowing that type of shenanigans to go on in his program. So while they are kids, and I don't think I've crossed the line with anything I've said today. I don't think I've gotten even close to the line today.
It's like what you said. Arkansas has class, and Tennessee puts the ass in class. Yeah. And I couldn't agree more with when we said
that eastern side of the state definitely does.
Well, not the Memphis part.
No.
It's basically 2 different states.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you ask anybody, 2 different complete states. 877-377-6963. We go to Brandon in Lowell. Brandon, Omaha, that's what you want to talk about. How's it going, man? And how you feeling about Arkansas going back to the College World Series?
Hey, guys. Hey, it's going great. And, I did want to just mention them. I mean, go Hogs. That game yesterday had me on the edge of my seat. The hour-long delays obviously took a little downtime, but it was awesome. Now, whatever, you just hit on it, though. What I called about was Tennessee, and just really the fact that they are kids and they kind of live and die by their coach, right? And you hit on everything I was going to ask about. When was it, a couple months ago, Vitello gets suspended because he bumped the ref. Has there been any more repercussions from that? Because usually if you're outside and you bump somebody, it's an assault charge, right?
Yes.
Not that he assaults the guy, hit him with his chest, but is there anything from the SEC or the NCAA that they can talk to you and say, hey, man, you need to kind of reel it in because your team they're mimicking what you do. And if you guys can't reel your players in, the next few seasons is going to be, I think, kind of long for them. Mm-hmm. That's just my thoughts. I'll hang up and listen.
Hey, no, man, I appreciate the call there, Brandon. And I think that it's got to be a discussion happening, right? It has to be. You can't have your public image as not just a baseball team or an athletic program, but as a university. You can't have that, or an institution of a conference to go even further than that, or an institution of the NCAA to go further and further. You can't have that type of behavior out there in the public eye and not have those type of discussions with these people in leadership positions. I'm sure it's something that the chancellor or president, whatever they call them, that thing in Knoxville, is having with Tony Vitello now that the season's over. I'm sure it's a conversation that's been thrown around Birmingham, Alabama at the SEC headquarters. And heck, I'm sure it's possibly been thrown around in Indianapolis because while we've talked about it here, passion is great. We all have passion for for sports. That's why y'all are listening to me, and that's why I'm talking about this, because of the passion that we all have for this fandom that is baseball, basketball, football, these games. But you can't take it too far. And when, like you said, Brandon, when things that would normally happen in the real world happen in sports, such as putting hands on somebody, being physical, you do that outside of sports, that's assault. Obviously you should be punished. Well, shouldn't you be punished for it in sports? Shouldn't you be punished? I'm not saying, to severity of an athlete getting arrested, but there should be punishments. There should be consequences for the actions. And ultimately, and you hate to talk about this with people in their 20s, because while they are kids, they are technically adults. I mean, they're above voting age. They, drive cars. They are supposed to be productive members of society. So you don't want to sit here and talk to them like children, but when you act like children, sometimes you got to. And just like with children, if you don't punish a child for doing something wrong, if you don't teach them right or wrong, well, they're just going to keep doing it. If someone doesn't learn that there are negative consequences for my actions, they're not going to change up their actions. And it seems to be the same thing that's going on with Tennessee baseball. And ultimately, maybe this is what Tony Vitello and the program wants, because it's now 2 years of them being really good at baseball. But at some point, you got to pull the reins back. At some point, you can't let the players run the program. The coach has to step up, has to be the leader in that clubhouse, in that program, and tell them what's up, and they're just not going to act like this. Unless you want that type of reputation. Maybe that's what they want in Tennessee. Maybe they want to be the bad boys. Maybe they want to be the villains. That's how they want to be viewed. Maybe they just don't care.
Ooh, the bad boys of baseball.
The bad boys of summer. Coming to a theater near you. Tennessee. Eastern Tennessee. I'll never understand ya. You and me, we're completely different. I might have been born in the same state, but we are not the same. 877-377-6963. More of your calls, your texts on the other side. Like I said, Phil Elson, he'll be joining us here in a matter of 18-ish minutes, depending on when we come back for the second to last segment on his thoughts.
Did you get to hear this song live?
Yes, I did. He did play this song.
Was it pretty good live?
Oh, it's phenomenal. Maddie, I'll get into it on the other side. I don't know if I've ever been happier.
Wow.
I mean,
even when you proposed to your fiance.
I mean, my fiance was with me at the concert. Does that count?
But you were more happy that you were seeing and listening to Jimmy Buffett than being with her in that moment.
I told her
it's a combination of the two things.
Hopefully it was a combination of two things.
You're hearing his music and looking into her eyes.
I was, exactly. And I did tell her, it's like, this is the happiest day of my life.
Was she standing behind you holding your hips while you swayed to the music?
Almost. But I did tell her, this is the happy day of my life. That wedding, you got some pressure on you now. Yeah, I mean, you looked great, honey. Yeah. I mean, you said I do. I mean, we had some drinks. Cake wasn't great.
It's a little dry.
A little flat. Jimmy was an 11.
The cake wasn't singing, was it?
Yeah, Jimmy was an 11. You were a 9.8. Okay, not a bad score. But you got to understand, that was the happiest day of my life. And maybe that's saying something is sad, if that means my life is a little sad. But
not necessarily.
It was so great. It was absolutely phenomenal. People were great. The show was awesome.
Good crowd.
Great crowd. Called the Hogs a few times.
Oh, yeah. That happens. I mean, Dave Chappelle's in Little Rock, and just in the middle of the show, people start calling the Hogs, yeah. Well, and the people on stage, a lot of times, it's the first time they've experienced, and they have to stop and like, what the hell is going on right now?
Well, they actually...
But I'm sure he's been here a few times.
He's been in the natural state a few times, and he was prepared for it. He's actually a member of the Coral Reefer Band. Is from Blytheville, Arkansas. Cool. So over there in the east side of the state of our listening area, more of a on the Hit That Line area, but in the natural state, nonetheless. When we come back, more of your texts, more of your calls on this Omaha Monday edition of Halftime right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
And honey, I didn't know that I'd be missing you so. Come Monday, it'll be alright. Come Monday, I'll be holding you tight.
Hey, this is Matt Thomas, radio voice of the Houston Rockets.
Hey, this is Kevin Ray, the television voice for the Phoenix Suns.
Hey, everyone, this is Dante Marcatelli, broadcaster for the Orlando Magic.
Hey, this is Travis Immerse with the Portland Trail Blazers. Hey, this is Justin Kutcher, the TV voice of the Washington Wizards.
Hi, this is Eric Reed, the television play-by-play voice of the NBA's Miami Heat, and you're listening to NBA Views from the Cruise.
Only on the Hit That Line Podcast Network.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
All the top brands and everything you need at Make-A-Weight Bait and Tackle. 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make-A-Weight Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Want some whiskey in your water? Sugar in your tea. What's all this crazy question they're asking me? This is the craziest party that could ever be. Don't turn on the lights, cause I don't want to see. Mama told me not to come. My
back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Welcome back to Halftime on this Omaha Monday edition of Halftime. Before we get to more of your texts and your calls and more about Arkansas baseball in general, I do want to take the time to issue a public apology. And
oh, God, one of these again?
I just want people to remember that a lot of things that I say is tongue-in-cheek. And to my beautiful bride-to-be, I was just kidding. I was joking. You know me. You know I like to have a little ha-has, a little LOLs, a little LAMOs. You know what I mean. Our wedding will be better than any Jimmy
She didn't call it off yet?
She did not. She did text me,
still has
though.
time.
She did text me, though. She does have time.
Now, if you're going to make a public apology, there's one thing you're forgetting to do. You have to promise to try to do better.
Oh, yes, of course. And to my lovely bride-to-be, I apologize for my insensitive comments. I know
it was just a bad take.
It was a bad take. I apologize now that I've had time to reflect on the person that I was during the time of those comments to the person that I now am today.
You've grown a lot.
I've grown a lot in the last 5 minutes, and I just want you to know that I will always do better and that I love you and that our wedding will be much better than any Jimmy Buffett concert. Unless you get Jimmy Buffett
Could he
there.
possibly show up?
I mean, then it'd be like...
I don't think you're helping.
I don't think I'm helping my case, but I do want to say I'm sorry. And remember, fellas, tell your woman you love her today. Maddie, you tell your woman you love her today.
I do it multiple times a day.
Good. You treat her like the queen she is. 877-377-6963. Let's see how we make a transition from that one as we go to the text line. Kyle in Greenwood, what does he have to say? Any idea why we haven't used Tiger more as of late? Haven't seen him besides just a little yesterday in relief. Well, Kyle, I think that has to do with the rest of the bullpen. You know, I don't think you really needed Brady to come in and give you the innings that you kind of thought you would, kind of in a Kevin Kopps type of situation from last year. Did, like you said, got to see him for a full inning yesterday. Probably would have seen him more if it wasn't for the second lightning delay. So I think just with the emergence of Hagen Smith in that bullpen and what he's been able to give you on the back end of being a guy that has starter statistics, and instead of having to try to finesse and keep up his endurance through, 5 to 6 innings, can go out there and muscle it all and just really throw his best stuff in a few innings. It's been phenomenal to watch, and I think that you're going to continue to see that. Now, obviously, you're really glad you have a guy like Brady there that can come in and give you productive innings. So in case, Hagen Smith or, Will McIntyre or some of these other, Zach Morris, some of these other guys who have stepped up, even Evan Taylor in these last 2 weeks, if one of them falls off, you still have some great options left in the tank. Scott in Cave Springs, if volunteer players are going to act like bleeps when they are winning, they deserve the negativity that comes with losing. And I agree. You reap what you sow, right? Right? We've all learned that. You get what you give. And if you want to give middle fingers, you can't be shocked and surprised when people give them right back, because that's how life works. People aren't going to feel sorry for you after you just went on a great run. It was a great season for Tennessee. It wasn't where they want to be right now, but you can't be shocked when people are a little upset after you've treated them and been jerks to basically the college baseball world in general. 877-377-6963 to get in on the conversation. A few more minutes here before we get to Phil Elson, who has landed. He is in the natural state, and he's going to give us all of his opinions about what we saw down in Chapel Hill over the weekend and what we can expect to see in Omaha. So Arkansas is going to Omaha, as we have stated multiple times today, and as all of you definitely know. What's the one thing about Omaha that is the most known? Is it the steaks? Is it Warren Buffett, who is definitely the least great Buffett, as we've all come to know and determined here today? Warren, he's a billionaire, but, I mean, he's no Jimmy. I mean, we all know that, right? Is it they've got a lot of trains in Omaha? There's a river, right? Is it the ball field? What's the best? Maddie, what do you think of when you think of Omaha? Like, what's the one thing that comes out in your mind when you think of Omaha? For me, I think it's the steaks, right?
Have you ever had Omaha steaks?
I've never actually. I don't know if I've ever actually had one.
Some before. They're all right.
Are they?
Yeah.
I know you see signs for them, just like pack of Omaha steaks. Like there's like a guy with a cooler. Or, like I was working at the one job that I've ever been fired from because I was a screw salesman that couldn't sell a screw. We had a guy come around like as an Omaha steak representative or something like that, and like tried to get us all to buy these packages of meat. And if I had any money, I would have done it. Sounded like a pretty good deal. But what is Omaha? I guess Omaha's got to be known as the destination of college baseball.
Like I'm looking at a list of the best things in
I looked
Omaha.
at a list earlier.
The number one thing's like the zoo.
Ooh, you got a zoo?
Wander the old market district. That's
you just want me to go wandering?
You see this picture of these really old buildings.
I mean, it's cool.
When I went to Omaha when I was a kid, that's kind of what I remember. I just remember old buildings, and flat land.
See, and I like that. I like to wander, but for a city, like for their number 2 thing for me to do, it's just to go, I don't know, just go walk. You might find something. Got to do a better job at your tourism stuff there, Omaha. We do have some people coming in saying you think of Peyton Manning, which is very true. I mean, how can you not think of Peyton Manning when you think of Omaha? Omaha! That is definitely it. 877-377-6963. Maybe a Monday edition of Ask Phil, as he's going to join us here at the bottom of the hour here in a minute as we get ready for Arkansas to take on either Stanford or UConn in Omaha at the College World Series at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, Nebraska on Saturday. When we come back, Phil Elson will join us right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Just about to lose my mind,
Hard-working simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfields by slicing a clean, close swath, up to 10 foot 4 inches wide, all while operating in confidence and comfort with a Workmaster tractor with high-visibility all-weather cab. Stop by WT Equipment in Springdale today to learn about this unstoppable New Holland team.
Switching and saving with Geico is easy, so you're free to ponder life's big questions. Like if a person can get discombobulated, does that mean the rest of the time they're just like combobulated? Are we humans always in a state of combobulation? Until, of course, something dramatic happens and we are discombobulated for a while. Then we go back to being combobulated. Yeah, that's probably how that works. Switch and save with Geico. It's easier than you think.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab in Fort Smith is hiring dietary aides, CNAs, and LPNs all shifts. Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab is a newly remodeled 5-star rehab and long-term facility. Full-time positions qualify for benefits such as medical, dental, 401k, and vacation. Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab wants you to become a Chapel Champ team member today. Please apply at Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab, 4623 Rogers Avenue, or fax resume to 478-1014. That's 478-1014.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer.
course, like every other seltzer. But it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal. So you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The sun is shining, and now is the time for you to come to River Valley Truck Outfitters for all your window tinting needs. The best place in the River Valley to get quality work and the price you will love. River Valley Truck Outfitters can get your tin on. River Valley Truck Outfitters, specializing in window tints, residential tints, and commercial tints. Bring your vehicle to River Valley Truck Outfitters on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, or call 648-8855, your one-stop truck accessory store.
Great people, great opportunities. That is what you get at Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, Arkansas, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, with regional OTR and local opportunities for qualified CDL drivers. Make up to $95,000 annually and be a part of a team that embraces the concept of family. Patriot Transport wants you to be successful on the road and at home, working with every driver to ensure they get the miles they want and the family time at home they strive for. Patriot Transport, more than trucking, it's family. Visit patriottransport.com to apply.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Omaha, you've been weighing heavy on my mind. Yes, I never really left it all. I'm turning all those roads I walked around the other way. Coming back to you, Omaha.
The pitch to Slavens. Swing, ground ball, base hit, right center field. Brady Slavens sparks this team to Omaha, and the roadshow continues for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A 4-3 win, come from behind style in the ninth inning. The Razorbacks dogpiling on the field here in Chapel Hill with their 11th trip to the College World Series, and you can call them the Omahas.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And welcome back to halftime here, as we are about to be joined by Mr. Phil Elson himself, who's landed back in the natural state with the team. Phil, I asked Maddie and our listeners what they think of when they think of Omaha, and I know you'll appreciate this. One thing that, unfortunately, Omaha doesn't stand for this year is Ole Miss at home again. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to see some powder blue, but I guess you'll take it if you're going to Omaha as well, right?
Well, I don't care if Ole Miss is there. It actually makes it. There was this thought process that everybody had throughout the year, or maybe a narrative, to use an overused word, that the SEC West was down. Well, now there's three SEC West teams already in the College World Series. A fourth one fighting to get in there tonight. And it does go to show just how difficult the road was in the regular season. The fact that they've played, they will possibly have played half the field in the College World Series. That doesn't even count playing against Stanford for one game. So that really amazes me, and it validates some of the struggles that they had too, because this is just an incredibly difficult league, and they played in the toughest division in that league.
Oh, they definitely did. And you think about it now, if Auburn's able to get it done tonight out of the three other SEC West opponents or West teams that got in, you won series against 2 out of the 3, and you played A&M really tough. Now, Phil, tell us about Chapel Hill. What was the experience like, and ultimately how great making that call that we heard coming back from the break truly feel yesterday?
Well, I'd love to visit the Chapel Hill. It's a lovely place. I like the stadium. People were great. North Carolina is a really good baseball team, and it was a new place to watch baseball and call baseball, which was always exciting. The games were just what you expect from a super regional, but in so many different ways. It's like the first game was this fast-paced, really well-pitched game where the Hogs kind of take advantage of a few things here and there in the 5th inning and ride Connor Nolan from there. And then the second game yesterday was just, I can't believe it was yesterday. That was such a marathon day for a game that also was well pitched, to have to sit around in the humidity and the heat without anywhere to go. I mean, in college, these guys don't have visiting clubhouses. There was nowhere for the team to go. They could go into the hallway behind the dugout and lie down maybe or something, but there wasn't like a place for them to go. And they just I felt like they outlasted North Carolina yesterday. So I was just so impressed by how they did that, and also how, guys, they won the most offensively minded regional in NCAA tournament history with the Stillwater Championship. And now they've won 2 low-scoring, well-pitched games against the teams that had put together a monster regional offensively in North Carolina. So you can always tell when you're facing a dangerous team if they can beat you in numerous ways. And that's what we've just seen them do in these last 2 weeks. And in Omaha, they'll say that it is a pitcher's park. It's probably the biggest ballpark you play in all year long. So you've got to be able to find ways to score runs, sometimes without the aid of the long ball in the way that you're used to. But I think this team can still hit it out of the Schwab now and again if they need to.
Yeah, they definitely can. And Phil, we've talked about it on this program many a times of small ball, and something I saw something happen multiple times yesterday that I would love to see at every Major League Baseball game. I saw bunts. I saw good, clean hitting. I saw hitting to the opposite field. I saw being able to manufacture runs off of timely hits instead of just long balls. And I think you're exactly right. When you show that you can beat a team in multiple different fashions, like Arkansas has over the last 2 weeks, it does have a recipe for success. So on to the pitching side of what we saw at Chapel Hill. I talked about it with Ty yesterday on Hog Reaction after the game. He asked me who my MVP of the Super Regional was, and I gave it to Connor Nolan. I said Connor Nolan's my MVP because of the way that he set the tone on Saturday. He goes 6 2/3 innings. He doesn't give up a single run. He sets the tone, and he allows the bullpen to stay as healthy and as fresh as possible on game 1 going into a 3-game series. I thought was absolutely phenomenal. What was your favorite, or who do you think was the best pitching performance from Arkansas over the weekend? Because there really was a lot to choose from.
You remember one of the themes that we talked about, guys, over the last month when the team struggled a bit and things kind of felt shaky, not just pitching-wise, but also hitting, fielding. I kept thinking that it starts and ends with starting pitching. You get a good start from a pitcher, you have a chance to win a ball game. It's just a matter of taking advantage of things or maybe the ball bouncing your way. But that's really where this team, why they were so steady for the first 8, 9, 10 weeks, because they got good starting pitching. And Connor was great against Grand Canyon. This is a better lineup than he faced. And his ability to locate his fastball was huge. The story of Will McIntyre is just amazing. It really is. People didn't even know he was on the team. Fans of the team didn't even know Will McIntyre was part of the team. He was a forgotten player. And now he's like, I mean, Dave hasn't announced or anything, but Will's going to be the second starter in the College World Series for the Razorbacks. And he was the 20th and last pitcher to appear in the game. And he had to advocate for himself. He had to go to the coaches and say, you know, I don't really think I'm being given a chance. And then he's given an opportunity to pitch against UAPB, you know, and it grows from there, from UAPB to UCA to another game against UCA, to finally getting into an SEC game against Auburn out of the blue and coming through huge in a rubber game against the Tigers. And now this, with 5 1/3 shutout innings and coming back from almost a 2-hour delay. Just absolutely incredible. I mean, I can't pick like an MVP from any of this, but both of the starts I think were critical because there have been moments in the pen that have just been a little bit shakier in the last 2 weeks. So one way that you take some of the pressure off your pen, and they're going to face pressure moments in low-scoring games, you just don't want your bullpen to have to worry about, gosh, we got to get him out of the jam in the 4th inning, or we got to get him out of the jam in the 5th inning. If you start worrying about it in the 6th, 7th, 8th, the pressure is off them for a little bit emotionally and mentally. That's huge. So that's still going to be key for them moving forward.
It definitely has. And speaking with the bullpen, how do you think, obviously on the field, it's worked out phenomenal, but do you think Hagen Smith really accepted this, you know, back of the bullpen, end of game type of situation he's found himself in the Dave Van Horn's put him in?
Sure looks like he has. I think he just wants a chance to pitch. I don't think he cares when it is. And he seems ready for the moment. And I mean, really, some guys want to start, some guys want to relieve, whatever. I think pitchers just want to go out and pitch, be given a chance to do something to help their team. And I think Hagen fits this role. Honestly, he can fit a lot of roles on a pitching staff very well. So it's good to see him just be malleable and take this role and run with it. But I still think they'll still close with Tiger if he's if he I think locks it up a little bit more. I know they still want to give him the ball to protect leads, but Hagen Smith certainly does look like a pretty good 8th, 9th inning pitcher.
Mm-hmm. What about Jackson Wiggins? What's his role going to look like? We didn't see him in Chapel Hill. What's his role going to look like in Omaha?
Your guess is as good as mine, Drew. I don't know. You know, he was the 3rd game starter, and right now, you know, the way that the College World Series is built, you know, you don't have to play back-to-back games to keep winning. They're back-to-back days. You know, they're days off built into it. So relievers like Evan Taylor, like Zach Morris, maybe Morris starts again. I don't know. Like Hagen Smith, like Cole Ramage, Vermillion. They're going to have days built in to rest. So I don't know where Jackson Wiggins' role comes out. There can be one for him, especially if you get into the championship series and then you're playing possibly three days in a row, or if you fall into the losers bracket, you do have to play back-to-back games. But Jackson struggled in situations where they needed a decent start at least, and he wasn't able to make it through the 2nd inning. So I think they're wondering what the role is too, honestly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all these pieces are going to fit together. And so far, it's made a beautiful picture as Arkansas is in Omaha. Now on to Omaha. What you texted me, you're a defender of the Omaha Zoo. Apparently, I was a little rash about the Omaha Zoo.
Like Drew, it legitimately is a world-class zoo. The people in Omaha have taken great pains to spend a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of love on, I'm not kidding you, one of the best zoos in the country. So anybody that is making the trip, anybody that's been to Omaha and has been to the zoo, like they know it. It's not a secret. So anyone that's going up there and hasn't been, I would advise taking a day like a full day, because it will take you a full day to make it through the whole thing, and it's gorgeous, really is.
Yeah,
so that's like top of the list stuff with Omaha, to be honest. And I do like you, and it's right there by where Rosenblatt Stadium used to stand. So when you go to the zoo, it's a massive parking lot, but they also have the old Rosenblatt scoreboard and a little field, and I think the old dugouts are there too. So you can kind of go visit where
that's cool.
The tradition of the College World Series really was born, and it's right there by the zoo.
That's called a 2-for-1 right there. 2 birds with 1 stone, 1 area there, Phil. You've become an Omaha expert as your time with Arkansas. What trip is this for you? What number?
This is the third time I've been able to go with the team in the last 4 years, man. I mean, it's been 2018, 2019, and now this year. So I guess that's 5 years. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert on the city. There are a lot of other broadcasters that have been there many more times than me. But, Dave Van Horn's a guy you could say would be more like an expert on Omaha, because this is going to be the 9th trip for him as a head coach. But I think I would try to reflect the gratitude that you can see and the appreciativeness that you can see when Dave answers questions about what it's like to be there for a 9th time. It never gets old.
No, it doesn't seem like it does.
You appreciate these, you really do. You appreciate these things because it's very difficult to get there. Like, you know what baseball's like, and especially college baseball. Like, this is the drunkest sport on earth, and it's the most difficult sport to predict. It's the least chalkiest of any of the college sports that I can think of. And the event that they put together in Omaha is first class all the way, and the city just embraces it, and it's truly a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll leave it there, Phil. I appreciate you coming on today after you had a long day of travel, and talk to you tomorrow at 11. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that because there's like this radio show I'm supposed to work with a couple of guys, and I was just like listening to it on the drive down here, and I'm like, wait a minute, you can't say that about the Omaha Zoo. Oh, that's okay. I can call in because I'm supposed to go on as a guest on my own show, which is a little weird.
Well, somebody said your voice sounds different on the phone, and they don't know if it's really you or not.
Uh-oh.
Could you tell us something
that only looks different in person than you think too?
Oh, maybe this is Phil Elson.
It could be.
We did have somebody that said that Phil Elson is the best radio broadcaster. He really paints a picture. So you've got some competition, Phil.
Well, and apparently I sound different one way. So we'll see what happens if I sound the way you want me to tomorrow. I'll start practicing right now.
I appreciate that, Phil. We need you at tip-top shape for tomorrow. Have a good one, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That is the voice of Arkansas baseball, Phil Elson, and 1/3 of halftime normally here Monday through Friday, 11 to 1 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. When we come back, we'll finish up with some of your texts, any last-minute calls that you have on this Omaha Monday edition of halftime, 877-377-6963. We wrap things up on the other side of this break, so don't go anywhere right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need as we head into summer. Try Blue Note Single Barrel Bourbon with store pickup. It's our 1 year of being open anniversary bottle. Enjoy this bourbon or choose from a fine selection of quality bourbons and whiskeys throughout the store. Wine Wednesday every Wednesday. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town. All this and more at Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Visit us online at barrelsandbrewsfs.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter agents Wade Gilkey about a free insurance review.
Finding an assisted living or senior care facility is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Choose the best. Hope's Creek in Van Buren. At Hope's Creek, your loved one will be in apartment-style living, eating 3 home-style meals daily, and receive the care and services they need. The round-the-clock nursing staff monitors health needs in a secured, monitored environment. Plus, you can check on your loved one anytime with 24-hour access. Stop by for a visit at 2502 Fayetteville Road, or check out Hope's Creek online at hopescreek.com.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
This message for listeners in the Knoxville, Augsburg, and surrounding areas. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. Fast, reliable fiber internet, along with television and phone service from a local provider with the best customer service available. To pre-register, call 833-492-8372 or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your journey for outdoor fun starts at Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders in Roland. CF Moto's superior quality on ATVs and side-by-sides makes fun affordable. Hit the water in style with the all-new 2022 lineup of Suncatcher pontoons and G3 bass boats powered by Yamaha. They're also Oklahoma's exclusive Falcon Bass Boat dealer. The sales staff has earned outstanding Facebook reviews because of their service during and after the sale. Start your journey at Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders Highway 64 Roland. Check out the pre-owned vehicle selection too. 918-503-6633. AutoFindersOK.com.
You don't want to see cracks in your pipes or your plumber. Let Westgarth Plumbing get you right for the summer. We tuck in our shirts and work, we're experts. So if things don't flow your way, we can get it to work. Say no to cracking, we'll give you 20 back. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call and they'll give you one. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call and they'll give you one. Say no to crack and get 20 back. Yeah. Westgarth Plumbing, expert drain cleaning service. Say no to crack and get 20 back. Yeah.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Hey, welcome back to a Omaha Monday edition of Halftime as we close it down. A few minutes left for your last second calls, last second texts here on a Monday reaction show from the weekend that was. So many great things that happened this weekend. But with Arkansas moving on to Omaha, there's a reason we spent 95% of the show on it, because it deserved it. And because that's what you fans out there, you want to hear us talk about this Arkansas baseball team, and that's exactly what we're going to continue to do. Do want to let you know that this hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at Joe's Grill and Cantina, open Tuesday through Saturday, located at 3400 South 74th Street, right here in Fort Smith, where they've got the specials and the deals for you all week long. We're talking happy hour specials from 3 to 6. We've got Taco Tuesday, which is tomorrow. $1 crispy tacos, $2.95 pork carnitas tacos, brisket tacos for $3.99. Wednesday, half price apps and taps all day. And, of course, the great Fajita Friday. Some of the best food and the best deals in the River Valley at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Well, Mr. Matty T. Travis.
Yes, Mr. Drew Andrew Barrett.
Thank you. That's the only possible response for that, because I just said your name twice in the same way. Great weekend for Arkansas, for sports in general. But you went and saw a new movie this weekend.
Jurassic World Dominion.
How is it? I gotta know.
It was solid.
Does it hold up? It
holds up. I watched the. I guess it was
Do I need to watch the new trilogy or do I sit there and watch all 5?
No, you don't need to watch all 5. You remember the first Jurassic Park.
Everyone
I would
does.
say at least watch Fallen Kingdom.
Okay.
Before you go.
Okay.
Now, at this point, basically, the dinosaurs are out, and they're just
everywhere.
amongst everybody. You know, you're flying an airplane. Next thing you know, there's a pterodactyl landing on. You just have to learn to live with them. So that's right. No, it was good though, and of course they had Jeff Goldblum, and then
I saw that in the previews.
Alan Grant, and I guess his name's Sam Neill. What's the actor's name?
I think so.
Yeah, Laura Dern, but all them are back, and it was cool.
All right, so
it's a good 2.5 hours long though. So
all right, we're apparently this is sequel season.
It's been a great summer for sequels.
Which one's better, Top Gun or Jurassic Park?
Dude.
I gotta know. The people need to know. 30 seconds.
For me?
For you.
People are gonna disagree. For me, I like Jurassic World Dominion better, but I'm a bigger Jurassic Park fan than Top Gun fan.
Well, there's also more to be a fan of. I mean, Top Gun, while it's a great movie, there's just one of them. There's a lot of Jurassic World Park movies, so I can understand that.
I would say the Top Gun, though, the visuals of the aircraft and everything is very cool.
Okay. So. Well, there you have it. Movie second with Matty T. Phil Elson back tomorrow for Matty T. For Phil, Connor O'Gara, I'm Drew Barrett. Have a wonderful and blessed day.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting